Here we go. Welcome, welcome, everybody.
Hello.
As we get people on here, you are in the right place if you are here for the DealMachine webinar with Anthony and Ashley Warren. Woo! The music wasn't working right now, so this is what I'm going to just do. Go ahead and type in the chat where you all are located, and Dakota's going to pop up our first poll question if you guys don't mind answering that. Are you a DealMachine member? All right. And I'm trying to go live right now on YouTube as well. Great to see you guys. Twin Falls. Awesome. If you guys are first timers here for our webinar, we have a wonderful guests today. Ashley and Anthony. They are in Clarksville, Tennessee, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You may have seen them on our Instagram. Anthony did a great Takeover Tuesday and showed us around what he does, how he uses DealMachine. So really excited to have you guys get your questions in. We also have with us, if you guys have been on any of our trainings, our wonderful trainer Dakota's here. He will be writing down your questions to be brought up and ask Anthony and Ashley. And then we also have our wonderful customer service manager, AJ, here answering your questions in the chat. But just so glad to have y'all in here. Next question we're going to have up is another poll question. If you guys could answer that real quickly. And get this up. Awesome. So you guys, if you don't know already, and AJ is going to drop a link in here, we do offer live trainings on driving for dollars, wholesaling, custom mailers, list builder. I don't think I forgot anything. And Dakota runs all of those, and it's live with Dakota. So please feel free, but we're also looking to do more to help you guys learn about our system and also just the way of real estate investing. Alrighty then. So, like I said, we have Anthony and Ashley here. I'm Elise. I'm the head of community experience here. I've been here for about 3 years. Really excited to do this with you guys. But first off, Anthony, Ashley, can you just give us a quick intro of where are you? I said it already, Clarksville, Tennessee, but for those who haven't, and how did you get started in real estate investing?
Yeah. So my name is Anthony Warren. Ashley and I first kind of got started investing really on our own just last year. We started our own business, but I've kind of been in the business of wholesaling in some capacity or another since about 2015. I worked for a pretty large firm out of Dallas. Got my feet wet with that. Moved on to another smaller company in Springfield, Missouri. We were a small but mighty team. And then when the military moved us out here in 2019, I decided that we would start our own company, and we kind of just dove headfirst into it. And then since then, Ashley has also got licensed.
Oh no. Ashley, are you still there? Was that my internet? Oh, yeah. Anthony. Do you want to pick off where he was coming off of, Ashley?
Yeah. So we started our business, and then I'll be honest, like I did not start. I wasn't really active in the business. I was working a 9 to 5. So what had happened was he got his first deal, and I soon realized that I was wasting a lot of time at my 9 to 5. So I actively started working the business with him.
Oh my gosh, and you're a licensed realtor, right?
Yes.
No? Yes. Okay. Yes. So you have some great insight. If those of you who are on here are licensed, do you guys do wholetailing at all?
We haven't done one yet, but we are going to do about 2 flips right now that we will have.
And yeah, going into the flip. So is that what kind of real estate investing do you guys mainly do, or what do you guys like to do with real estate investing?
We like single family residents, and then we also like multifamily. But we'd also like to buy apartments as well. That's our end goal. We'd like to buy apartments and then have that passive income from the apartments.
Do you
So
guys mainly buy and hold, you flip and buy and hold, or do you wholesale in between there? Do you do all of it or just focus on like one type?
we do all of it. So we started wholesaling, and then we started buying and holding, and then we started buying and then flipping too. So
What's your favorite?
we're in it. Wholesaling.
Anthony, what would your favorite part of this be?
Um, I enjoy the wholesaling just because it's so transactional. Um, but I do enjoy also holding properties as well because I see the long term wealth in holding those properties. I think the end goal for me is to just build something up that has enough passivity that we can kind of do other things that we enjoy in life. So I think it's a real great balance for us right now, using the wholesales and flips to fund the long-term wealth through rentals. But most certainly it's hard to pass up a wholesale fee.
And how you guys, so you guys are, how long have you been doing this now? A year? No. Yes.
Yes.
Like as a team?
Yes. Yeah, about a year.
Okay. And how many deals have you guys closed?
And so we did, I can't remember, the 15 to 17 the first year. And then I'm going to be honest, I really don't know how much we've closed. Maybe I'll ask Anthony that. But I know we've got 4 closing this month. So,
Hey. Well, I
yeah.
know last time we talked, y'all were closing like 1 to 3 deals a month. And that's even with like the flips that you're having too. Like, that's crazy. Oh, we're getting creative here. He's coming on his phone too. We gotcha.
How many?
I apologize. I'm not sure what's happening. My internet's cutting out, so I'm just going to join on my phone.
You're totally fine. I was just talking about how many deals you guys have closed so far in your like as a team since you guys started in real estate investing.
So I don't know the hard number right now. I know we did 17 in our first year, and so our year started. Basically, what I count our year starting when we collected our first wholesale fee, which was June 2nd of 2020. And so we're.
Oh no!
I feel bad for Anthony.
Just
oh, there you are. Oh, you're there. You're there. Okay.
So far this year, going into our second year, we're at 5. So, but we have a couple other that we've got under contract and a few others. So we're definitely on track to probably do double what we did last year.
Yeah.
Yes. And so how many flips do you said you had going right now?
So we currently have 2 flips that are active right now, but we'll close another one next week. And then we made offers on one today. And it's just it really depends. But as of right now, we have 2 that are open, and I'm finishing one that will be a rental.
Nice. What does your portfolio look like right now for your buy and holds then?
So our first property that we ever did was in Springfield, Missouri, and it's a duplex. So we have that. We have 2 single families out here that we have right now, and then we were going to have another one, but I just decided to sell it. It was a lot of hassle, and so we just kind of just wholesaled it after we closed on it. So.
And are you guys the main drivers for driving for dollars? Is it just you 2?
Yeah, it's date night.
It's date night. I love that.
We love driving for dollars.
Do you ever make it a competition or anything of who can add the most or something?
No.
Not yet.
No, generally because we're both together when we're doing it. So I mean, one of us is generally driving and the other is just kind of scoping out properties. That way we can, and I still almost run off the road daily. So
Yeah.
it's so hard not to lose focus when I'm trying to look at houses that I want to buy.
Do you guys have like a quota that you try to get in every week with properties added into the system?
We don't have a goal right now, but on average, we're adding about 80 to 100 a month, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I also have other obligations as well. So we could definitely add more, but we've driven quite a bit around our immediate area. So we feel pretty good about the areas that we've hit so far, and the properties that we've added. Now we always find those little hidden pockets. And we love going, and finding houses in areas like that. But for the most part, we have kind of done a really thorough job, I feel like. And we just recently brought a guy onto the team, and he is going to start driving for dollars as well. So
nice. And he's in that area too, or are you guys branching out to other markets?
He's in this area as well. So
that's awesome though. He'll know he probably already, when you start to tell people about it, they're like, oh, I know a house. Oh, I know a house.
Yeah,
I know.
He's already excited. He told me that he did a lot of his driving for dollars with a pen and paper, so he was writing down a lot of houses and stuff like that. So he was really excited to be able to actually use the app and kind of integrate that into his systems as he moves forward. So.
Oh, life-changing, I'm sure, from what he used to do. And then you guys, I'm going to ask them one more question, then we'll open it up to your questions. So Dakota, I know, is taking those down. So be prepared to turn on your mic and your camera so you guys can talk to Anthony and Ashley. But my question is, as a partnership, and especially as outside of a business relationship, you have a personal relationship, how do you divvy up responsibilities, and how do you make that work-life balance?
So we really haven't sat down and said, hey, this is your formal job, right? It's really tough to sit there and kind of tell your spouse, like, hey, here's what you got to do, like a boss mentality. I feel like we've both done a really great job of finding the things that we're really good at. So the things that Ashley is really spectacular at is talking with people on the phone. She's got a real natural, easygoing voice. And it's less intimidating, I think, when a woman calls sometimes than when some young guy calls and he's wanting to buy a house that he saw. And so I feel like there's been a good balance where I've been able to help her out, and the scripts and stuff like that. So she's really kind of taken the lead manager position in the business. And then as far as what happens next, we usually both go on appointments together and then evaluate. And then even we have our roles there. So she'll take pictures while I'm at a property. I'm evaluating the repairs. And then from that point, I just take over doing the sales for the company. So I'm making the offers and taking over all the sales conversations that happen over the phone. So
so we do have a system, like we drive for dollars together, and then I'll upload the list, and then I will cold call, and then once we get an appointment set, then we go together, and then he makes the offers on the phone. And that's typically how it's usually ran. That's typically how it's done.
I love it. That's good. You guys kind of naturally just flowed into, because you guys do know each other in another level, so you know what your strengths and weaknesses are already. So you guys just kind of naturally went into the delegating of, I know you're good at this, so you can do this, and I'll do this, and we
still carry a lot of weight for each other. So I'm constantly sending her reminders of stuff, and then she's constantly saying, hey, did you do this, or has this been done? And so we've it's not necessarily the most structured situation, but we've done a really good job of kind of holding each other's back. So
Yeah.
That's so good. Accountability. Like you need that, especially with starting you guys just literally, went off and did your own and you had each other. So,
We had a conversation, I want to say like a week ago about accountability with each other. And I think that we're actually going to start structuring our calendar hour by hour, and we will hold each other accountable through our task and discuss it every single day. So
oh,
we
I
actually
love
did have
that.
that conversation. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get into the questions here, but I do want to say, Anthony, thank you for your service. You are active military right now, right?
That's correct. And thank you.
I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge that because we do appreciate that here. And okay. All right. We got Vimal. If I said your name wrong, I'm so sorry. But are you there? I'm going to ask to unmute you. All right, we'll give them all a couple seconds. If he doesn't come on, Dakota, do you mind asking his question?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So his question was, how do you guys get above the competition with where you're at? Like, what are you doing to go above your competition in your market?
I feel like Anthony and I are really personable when we go out. It can be very transactional at times, but Anthony and I are very personable when we're out. I know we went on one appointment last week, and she wants to see this house flipped, and just I asked for old pictures of the house and the family, and I said, if you sell the house to us, I want to see these pictures. And like she said, you are my favorite.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just I think that we're personable with them. So.
Yeah, I would say we've always had the best interest of others, at the forefront of everything that we do. And for us, I think the one thing that differentiates us from, other wholesalers or other people in this market is, every time I get a property under contract, that's something that I would 100% move forward in buying. Obviously, you only have so many resources as you do this, and money is not unlimited. But I feel confident knowing that whenever I make somebody an offer, that I can stand behind that offer and that I know that we can close on it. And that's the biggest thing, is like just trying to fight through the little pieces of adversity that sometimes feel like a big deal. And I know that I run into that a lot, and just sitting back, taking a couple minutes to diagnose and then figuring out the way forward. And that's how we approach our business every single day.
Awesome. I love that. Actually, I would sell you my house if you definitely because that's such a vulnerable thing for them to be giving them or selling their house, and you don't know the backstory. So that really, I love that. I haven't heard that ever, I don't think, of someone asking.
Yeah, they sent us a picture last night, and it was awesome. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. All right, John. Hi.
Hello there.
How's it going?
Going great. I had one of my questions was around driving for dollars, because we've been doing that. We've done it several times, and I feel like I'll do it for an hour and I'll put 100 properties on my list, finding that, but I think it's too broad. So for you guys, whenever you're doing your driving for dollars, I'm always curious what your criteria is, if you see a house, because I was just driving and be like, oh, that's I'm sorry, but that's an ugly house. Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously, if the yard's messed up or there's a car on center blocks or anything like that. But yeah, I was just curious what your criteria was.
Yeah. So we definitely are looking at probably the same things that you guys are looking at. I would definitely say that out of everything. When I sit and I look at a property, obviously it's generally distressed. And I feel like driving for dollars is the very best way to target and kind of snipe out those very best deals that other people aren't necessarily calling or marketing to. So I would just say keep doing those things that you're doing. And then it's just being relentless with trying to contact people is really the hardest part. And really, it's not my strong suit either, which is why Ashley does a lot of the calling. But I would say as long as you can be relentless on getting people on the phone, that's probably going to be your best bet. And you may actually find that some of those people are a little bit more motivated than maybe not being so. But I would say the biggest things for me is I'm definitely never going to pass a house that has a tarp on the roof. If I can see the soffit or fascia that's all damaged, I'm definitely going to get that. If the yard's just been overgrown for weeks, I'm going to get that. And one thing that I actually just put a post up on my Instagram the other day about is not just driving through one time and calling it good, but continuing to farm that area. So you can drive through somewhere and the map tool is great on DealMachine where, it tracks your routes and everything, but don't be afraid to go back through, every couple months and hit up some of those areas because stuff changes all the time. Especially where we live, there's such a high turnover with military personnel that houses that were rentals are turning over and you may never know. We get lackadaisical about it, but there's houses on the next street over. So I would just say keep farming the area and then just be relentless with getting in touch with people. And those things will pan out, I promise. And if you really niche down to the ugliest houses out there, the ones that need the most work, and focus 80% of your effort on the 20% that are the worst ones, then you're definitely going to find that you're going to have more success. And I think that's what has generated us so many deals at what we're doing from driving for dollars.
Thank you. A follow up to that. Once you pull that list, you got your houses. If you find one that's like already owned by an LLC or it's corporate owned, do you still hit those up? Do you still go for those, or do you knock them off your list? And
yeah, sometimes it really just depends. There's so many LLCs here that are buying. So if they bought it recently, then I'm probably just gonna skip past it for now. But it's definitely something to keep in your database and just follow up as a lead eventually. But I would definitely say, of course, the ones that are vacant and absentee owners are great, but don't be afraid of the owner occupieds either. A lot of people get scared to, go in and make offers on owner occupieds and try to wholesale owner occupieds. It is another dynamic that is added in, but don't skip out on those either.
We had a property that was owner occupied, but it was vacant. He was living in a hotel. So, don't be scared of that. And then also, John, where do y'all live?
In Dallas.
Oh, hey, I'm in Dallas right now.
Oh, there you go.
So sometimes, those areas that you farm, a lot of people will market to those areas. Something that has been really successful for us is going outside of, the big, like Clarksville, going outside of it.
So going to more rural areas.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a good point. That's what we've been doing right now. We go about 45 minutes north of here to some smaller areas.
So when y'all say Dallas, is it Dallas or
Frisco?
We're up in Frisco. We're in North Dallas. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we grew up north of Frisco, so.
Oh, you did?
Well,
Okay, cool. Well, we've been hitting, like, if you know the Denison area, the Denison Sherman area. Yeah.
My grandpa lives in Denison.
Yeah.
So we know it. That's a good area to hit. Because I know my grandpa will probably sell his house to a wholesaler. So you are hitting the right areas, Sherman.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have ways for you guys to connect at the end, John. We're going to share their Instagram and stuff, but small world, like small world. But also, John, just so you know, in DealMachine, you can actually filter the sale date. So if you wanted to look to make sure that you get everyone that's sold within a certain amount of time, you can do that. But loved having
Absolutely.
you guys on here. Thank you so much for your question.
Thanks for the answers.
Yeah.
No worries.
Hey, Randy, long time no see. Oh, yeah, you're
Can
me.
you guys see
Okay.
me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can see you. Are you sitting on your exercise ball that you did?
No, not this time. I had a baby. I had a baby on 4th of July. So I've been so busy. Yeah.
Congratulations.
First one. So yes.
Congrats.
Thank you. I guess my question is, thank you. My question is I know that different markets are different, you know, but as far as like touches, like what is your primary like way of touching these leads? Is it text blast, phone calls, door knocking? Like how does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I'll hit on it just for a second, and I'll pass it to Ashley. But so one thing that we've really started doing a lot of is this business is a lot about speed, right? So we want to try to touch people as quickly as possible. So what we like to do is log on to the desktop version of DealMachine, and we'll go in and we'll filter out all the leads that we've gotten in, you know, let's say the last 30 days. And then what we will do from there is I do also like to use that tool that Elise was talking about, where you can filter out the sell dates. That way I'm not wasting a lot of my time with stuff that was recently sold. And from that point, I will export an Excel sheet, and then we will upload that into our CRM and Podio. And then we can cold call directly off of our Podio. And then we also use a texting service, and we'll text blast directly off that too. So we just kind of hit it in rotations, but I feel like it's as many times as you can reach somebody, the better, as many touch points as you can have. But yeah, so I'll typically get the list together, and then Ashley, she does the next piece. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I cold call. Sometimes, Randy, I get so desperate. I get so mad if someone does not answer the phone. Like, so I cold call. So, and then I will also send them a handwritten letter. I will do that. Also, sometimes I try to find them on Facebook to even like try and get a hold of them, because sometimes you just can't, like, you can't find their number. I do that. We door knock. So text message, following up. So if you don't get a call, if you don't get an answer, I follow up with a text message, because some people like text messaging over, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So those
So
are
a follow up on that, typically like how many like a month do you guys try to shoot for in your database? Like, you know, you guys have like 3,000, because I have like, I think like 3,000 in there, but you know, I'm trying to figure out what numbers, and I know different markets are different. I was just curious as to
yeah, so we've reached kind of a what I feel is almost a saturation point, and so we're always driving around looking for new stuff. But you know, typically we'll add, you know, 100 deals at this point. Early on, we were adding a lot in a month. So I know the 80 to 100 doesn't sound a lot, but we always do a very thorough follow-up. So, I mean, even if somebody doesn't respond, we're going to keep on trying to reach that person until they tell us no. You know, and then we're pretty respectful about it, and we remove them from the system. But I feel like follow-ups is you know, probably 60% of the business. And so that's, you know, and that's just from, you know, driving for dollars. We still do some other forms of marketing and stuff like that. But the majority of our deals have come from driving for dollars. We'll get, you know, a couple here and there from other, you know, marketing methods. But I feel like the very best ones for us, the ones that we've been able to contact somebody and have the house under contract in like 3 days or less, is typically our driving for dollars.
I have to agree with you. It's the same thing. I mean, same thing for me. I mean, the most that we've hit was from driving for dollars, and then number 2 is probate. So yeah. Thank you guys.
No problem, Randy. Thank you, and congrats on the little one.
Thank you. I'll bring him out.
All right, awesome. Sean, I do want to say one thing before we go on. Anthony touched on it, and so did Randy. So Randy's actually, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but he's in the Vegas market. So, you know, he has to add a lot more properties than what probably Anthony and Ashley do, because they're in a smaller market than Randy. So just to keep that in mind. Oh, look, sweet baby.
Oh,
We need to get that one, a little onesie that says I'm a big deal.
yeah, or a DealMachine.
I know. I like that. I'm a big deal. I'm going to have to get one of those.
All right, you email me, Randy. Oh, sweet babe. All right, awesome. Okay, so Sean, are you there?
I am. Hello.
Hi, Sean. Do you have video?
Hi. Yeah, I'm trying to. You guys send me. Yeah.
Sean,
There we go.
Sean will not have video unless we can get him over his. Oh, there we go. Zoom wasn't ready.
There
to
we
have
are.
panelists.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys
Internet's
hear me okay?
Internet's our worst enemy today.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it. That seems like it. I have actually a couple questions, but one of the main ones is I'm getting a hold of sellers, but they don't seem to be financially motivated. So when I'm going to properties, and I'm actually marketing out of Indianapolis, Indiana, they don't seem to be financially motivated. What is it that I need? Is it something that I'm doing wrong, or what is it that I need to be doing to find financially motivated sellers? The house seems to be, they should be motivated from the appearance of the property, but when I get in contact with them, they're either not ready or they don't want it. They don't responses. Is it something I'm doing, or what is it that I need to do to kind of get down to the nitty gritty with that?
Yeah. So, you know, this is a little bit outside the DealMachine realm, but if I could hit on it for a second, I would say that I would go back and I would analyze your sales process. And what I mean by that is you may look at the way that you talk to sellers, you know, some of the things that you do. I would also, I don't know your experience level, but I would recommend seriously that if you haven't already consulted somebody to do some sort of sales training, I would definitely look into doing that. And if you want to reach out to me, I can definitely set you up with what I feel is some of the best in the business. And it's not only going to help with you know, communicating with sellers, but it's also going to help your communication in general. And I feel like it's really going to set you up to have people open up to you on even more personal level. So if you want to reach out to me after this, however we best find the way to do, and then we will I'll kind of point you in the right direction.
And Sean, I was going to tell you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Anthony pretty much hit on it about your sales process, but something that he's really good at is like digging deeper, asking, like he always asks the question, when you say that, what do you mean? And sometimes you'll find that, you know, when you call them, they're like, oh, why are you cold calling me? So they're already kind of apprehensive towards you calling them. But sometimes Anthony asks these
standoffish.
questions,
Correct.
and he digs deeper, and you'll find out that sometimes they are financially like motivated. He just digs really deep. So.
I'd like to learn that process. I would definitely like to learn that process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will drop, is Instagram DM okay for you guys, Anthony? That's what we had for your contact after this. Yeah. We'll have a screen up for that, but yeah, I love the the digging deeper. It's all about the getting in there. Sean, also, if you're in the Indy area, come stop by the office sometime. DM us. We'd love to meet you.
Wow, yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
We're right here in Fountain Square. So we'll just DM us after this and we'll let you know where we're at.
Yeah. Yay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Not a problem, Sean. Thanks so much. I think
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
got
Thank you guys.
Travis up here. Travis, you there?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Travis.
Hi.
Hey, Travis.
I had to stop outside because I was losing connectivity occasionally. So I'm near a street. So if I get too loud, I'll walk away from the street. But anyway, I wanted to just kind of figure out how you guys got started and what motivated you and what's been your source for learning.
Yeah. Well, let me ask Ashley. Ashley, are you okay with me kind of sharing our story on a personal level?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. All right. So I've always kind of been around the real estate investing world since about 2015 or so. And when I moved out here for the military, I kind of realized that at some point in time, like I wasn't just going to stop being in this realm of investing in real estate. One of the biggest reasons why Ashley and I, chose to come active duty, because I was in the National Guard for 12 years. And so I made the switch, even though, I had deployed several times. I made the switch late in my career. Ashley and I have had some issues with infertility, and we were trying to grow our family. And so we felt like at the time, active duty would give us some stability, because I only had a sales job at the last company that I was working for. And so we took out a pretty sizable loan to do the treatments. And then we underwent the treatments last year, and unfortunately the treatments failed. And so we didn't end up with the family that we'd anticipated. And I always feel like in the most desperate times, you can either give up or you can dig deep and you can challenge yourself and make something happen. And it was at that point that I knew that I was going to start my business, and I was going to dig deep. And for, if it was 6 to 8 months or a year, I was going to go in more debt to get my business started, because I just was relentless and I was not going to quit. Fortunately, it went well enough that we closed a few deals early on, and fast forward, we're where we are today. We have a really fast-paced growing business, and so we're kind of just looking for the future and kind of what that holds, and how we're going to shape our family in the future. And that's where we're at, and that's kind of why we got started, and how we got to where we are today.
And Travis, I will be completely transparent. Like, I started the business, he started the business, and I wasn't working it a lot. And then I was working a 9 to 5, and it was I just felt like I was drowning. And then when we first got our first paycheck, that's when I was like, wow, I've wasted a lot of time here, and the money that you can make doing this, like, I quit within a week. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I want to get my wife there. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're very shoot first, aim later kind of people, and that's in some ways worked out for the best for us, just because I feel like with that kind of attitude, it leads you to action. So that's where we're at. And I think the biggest thing is just the little small consistent pieces of action. That's what's gotten us to where we are.
So what specifically led you to wholesaling though?
It was a way to make very good money very quickly.
Well, so I think, so we were living in Dallas, did you join, the company in Dallas in 2014. Was that the year?
2015.
2015. And a buddy that was in the military had offered him a job at, what was the company's name?
It was just a big company in Dallas.
It's a big company in Dallas, and that's where he got started. And he was just offered the job, and Anthony took it and learned from there. And
Awesome.
yeah.
It's always interesting to learn that. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Travis. I do want
I'm
to say thank you
Really
guys.
interested in the sales training too, because that's something I know I need to work on, and just learning how to get people to dig deeper. I love the comment on the digging deeper. That's great. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone, we will put up a slide that will have their Instagram that you guys can DM them. Anthony and Ashley, thank you for being so vulnerable with our community. And that was just, yes.
Yep. We hadn't really shared that with a ton of people. But I do feel like everybody's got adversity that they go through. And at the end of the day, if we hide from it, maybe we could help other people out there and just show them, hey, you're capable of so much more if you just try. And so, yeah, it was a bummer. Life kind of happens that way sometimes. And you can either lay down and let it kick you, or you can get up and kick it back. And that's kind of what we decided to do, was kick it back.
I love it. Kick it back. Awesome. Okay. Now, if I say your name wrong, I'm so sorry, sir. Is it Yeteric? So close, right? No.
It's Uttrick.
Uttrick. Oh, so
Close
much
enough.
better than what I said. I love that.
Thank you.
Uttrick, welcome to the webinar. What questions
Thank you.
can they answer for you?
Well, first, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Great, thank you. So when I drive for dollars and I find a property, usually the first question that comes to mind is, how can I properly assess the property? So do you guys bring contractors with you, or are you guys skilled in that department where you guys are able to be like, okay, that's going to be this amount of money, that's going to be this amount, or how do you guys go about that?
So this is another part of kind of my strong suit is, first off, I always take a checklist into the house with me. So I know, I'm hitting on all the major pieces of the house. And then I would say the biggest thing is just learning what things cost. So you can go to Lowe's and you can find a toilet right now for, 70 to 80 bucks. And then you can just assume that it's going to cost another, $80 to $100 to install. So a good rule of thumb is that whatever your materials cost that's what it's going to cost you in labor. Okay. So it's really market specific, and everything changes, especially with the way we have inflation right now on lumber and other goods. I've told people a lot, and this is kind of how I learned really early on, is if you have questions about stuff, go walk around Home Depot or Lowe's and write down like, hey, here's what, and it may sound silly, but here's what a doorknob costs. Here's what flooring per square foot costs. And then just assume, with whatever the flooring per square foot cost for the material, you're probably going to spend about $1 to install it, or $1.50 to install it. And just reach out to contractors and ask them what they charge for different things. And then, I will tell you the very best way of learning is if you get a deal that maybe you decide to keep, you're going to learn pretty quickly what things cost as you are walking through and you're the one spending the money and doing the work. That's going to be the best way to learn is the hands-on, for me anyways. But I would say keep a list, so my list would have a column, and it would have, roof, electrical, HVAC, windows, all these different categories that are in a house. And that way, as I walk through the house, I can can correctly assess what something's going to cost.
Okay, that sounds about right. I didn't even think of that. Next, not to take too much of you guys' time, when it comes down to like making a deal and putting something together for the buyer, how do you guys properly make a fee amount? Like, is it based off? Because I know some people say it's based off of how much the property is going to be, or how does that work? Because I know it's not going to be 10,000 every time.
Yeah, so it's going to vary. I would say that a good rule of thumb for a wholesale fee is probably 10% of the after repair value of the property, and that's what I try to stick to. Now on a $200,000 house, that's 20 grand, so on and so forth. So you may not always hit that 10%, but at the end of the day, if you can make a deal and you feel good about the money that you're going to make, and you help a seller out of a situation that's maybe not the best situation, which is what's going to lead them to sell the house. At the end of the day, that's a win-win. And so, sometimes you could go out and you can hit a $60,000 fee, or you could hit a $5,000 fee. I know we have a very specific goal in mind with our company. But at the end of the day, if I can make money and help somebody, I'm not going to turn away a smaller fee, over a deal. I'm not going to get, greedy is what I'm saying. So yeah, I would definitely say it sounds like you probably should look at a little bit more education on, estimating ARV, estimating your repair costs. And then once you get those things bulletproof, you're going to be able to make offers that are really, really competitive. And then based on that, you don't have to go out and hit a home run, on your first, 4 or 5 attempts. Just hit the base runs. And then, as you learn, that's when you can go out and really start making things happen. And I was very fortunate to have the experience beforehand, before having, starting our company, that we could really go out and kind of be ahead of that curve, if that makes sense.
It does.
I mean,
Okay, awesome.
It wouldn't hurt, like, if to go with another investor to walk through a property to get their opinions as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, we're all in it, together. I mean, we've got a lot of investor friends, so helping each other out. So find another investor and then walk through a property with them,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will also say we have a training that we actually, David gives his estimated repair costs and stuff like that, kind of like the list Anthony was talking about. And I know AJ's dropping the link in the comments. Dakota, actually, the guy down here with me, he actually runs them. But that's another, we have tools in there for you that you guys can download. So if you want to do that, that might help too, just to give you some more information.
Perfect. Of course, I sure will. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Hey, thank you for the questions.
Anytime.
You guys, we're going to have one more person up, and then Dakota is going to do we've done this last couple of times, a lightning round of questions. So if you haven't asked your question yet, I'd ask it now, because Dakota is going to start spitfiring them off for Anthony and Ashley. But Richard, are you there? Oh, and AJ just put that link in the chat for anyone who's interested in going to the wholesaling training. Goes over exactly what Anthony was talking about. Richard, are you there? You guys are phenomenal tonight. Anthony and Ashley aren't they doing great, you guys? Also, great job to all the chat people, like all the people here. I love this.
A lot of questions.
Such good questions. All right. I don't think, Dakota, could you let us know what Richard's question was?
Yes. So Richard is new to wholesaling, and he's curious on the easiest way to start approaching people to buy their properties at a lower price. And how do you frame that conversation to gain their trust?
Yeah. So that's a very complex question. I, I would say the most important thing is to get out there and start talking to people. When you're new into this, you're gonna mess up and you're gonna feel so not ready, and you might think of yourself as not being smart, and you're gonna have a lot of self-doubt because this isn't something that everyday people tend to do. This is a totally different walk of life than what people are taught in the 9 to 5. So just get out there, talk to people, don't be afraid to mess it up. And that's going to be the multiplier for learning. The next thing I would say, as far as like making offers below, below market price or whatever you want to call it, is you're offering a service as a wholesaler, first and foremost. And when I say that, you serve people. And so first and foremost, your primary thought should be, how can I help this person?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of times that Ashley and I have talked, and she's like, I don't care if we make $1,000 on the property. I just want to help this person out, because we know, we know what their picture perfect is, and we know how much joy it would bring them to be able to get them there. And so for that, I don't necessarily think there's just a great way to say, hey, how can I just make super low offers? They have to make sense. They have to be in the best frame to help somebody. And then, if you can get a really great fee out of the deal, that's awesome. But again, I would say for anybody who's doubtful on that, they should look at some sort of sales training, and just talk to people, and don't be afraid to mess it up.
All right, Dakota, next one.
Okay. So I know this, I've seen this a couple times in the chat, but you guys, I know you're doing a lot of cold calling. Are you also mixing in some mailers into that process as well? There were a couple questions about that.
Yeah. So we had ran mail at one point in time. When we first started the business and we were new to DealMachine, we were utilizing a lot of postcards. Unfortunately, I'm not a patient person. So like I said, speed for me is my best friend. So I want to get those leads and export them into a list to call as soon as possible. Another thing is you really have to gauge what your market looks like as far as mail, because we also ran a larger mail campaign. And so generally, the response rate on mail is probably, going to be from anywhere from like 0.5% to 3% on the high side. And so once you really start looking at the analytics as far as that, you can spend a lot of money to do it. But on the flip side, you may spend $2 and make a lot of money. It all balances out, right? So at the end of the day, we do have other things that we do, but primarily we decided last year that we were going to really run our business lean. And the best way to do that is to get out and drive for dollars and cold call.
Absolutely. Great answer. Thank you. So we have a question here. Do you stick with lipstick or minor repair properties, or do you also hit properties that need to be fully gutted? And is there a red line that you won't cross somewhere in between there?
I'm open to everything. If it's something that has to be bulldozed, I may not, yes. But I may not want to touch it. But, there may be value if you can buy it for the value of the lot. But honestly, I feel like the more repairs that a project needs, the better. You can get some of the best deals out of that. And especially if you're going to keep it, you can really build a lot of equity in a house quickly. So I know Ashley was going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it looks like it needs to be bulldozed, we just don't even mess with it. When we first started, we were like, oh, look at that. And then now we're just kind of like, oh, bulldoze, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Another question here. How often were you guys driving for dollars when you started?
When we started, we were probably driving for dollars 5 days, 5 to 6 days a week, I would say.
Awesome. Sweet. Do you have a process for handling do not call lists and text opt-ins?
So if we get somebody that tells us, to take us or take them off our list, everything runs through our Podio. So I'll just go in and mark them as a do not call. That way we don't end up calling them. As far as the texting, we use Lead Sherpa as of right now, and there's an opt out portion in the text message that goes out, so they can opt out automatically if they want to.
Gotcha. Awesome. And so along the lines of cold calling again, when have you guys identified the best time being to call someone? Is there a certain time of day or time frame that you guys call someone in?
I like between 10 and 3, because I feel like if you hit them too early in the morning, they're on their way to work, they're tired, they don't want to be talked to. So 10 is a good time. Everyone's kind of woken up. And then I still think 3 p.m. people are still in a great mood. To me, if you hit them after 5, they're at home, they're with their kids. I want them to bring me their full attention, and so I think 10 to 3 has worked out for me. So
awesome. I know there were a couple other questions, but I know we're getting close to time. At least you want to put up the contact information and Instagram and all of that?
I should be sharing it right now. Am I not? Is it good?
Oh,
I see it.
Yep.
That wonderful picture of those two beautiful people. This is their Instagram. You guys can reach out. Also, if you wanted to look more, they did, like I said, a great Takeover Tuesday on our Instagram, and it's in our highlights. Definitely recommend looking at that, because I know they've dropped a ton of nuggets right now, but Anthony also did a great job. Thank you again for doing that, because that was fabulous.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I want to be very cautious. To wrap this up in the hour time, but everyone, just so you know, we do have a live demo after this that Dakota, AJ, and I will be doing of the technology. So please stick around if you would like that. And then, what are your final not last words? That sounded really bad. What are your final words of encouragement to someone who's maybe on this webinar, who's feeling or just starting out in real estate investing, maybe feeling a little down? What's some advice you can give them, or words of wisdom?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short. I would say develop routines, and then I would say also work on some positive mindset stuff. I run into a lot of other wholesalers and other people who want to buy properties here. And I always hear from everybody, oh, deals are so hard to find. They're so hard to find. I feel like that's a limiting belief set. And I feel like if you really just dedicate yourself to like 3 things a day, I can't exactly tell you what those 3 things are, but let's just say it's driving for dollars, cold calling, and then follow-ups. If you worked on those 3 things a day for every day for a month, there's no doubt that you could squeak a deal or 2 out. And so that's what those are some of my final thoughts for today.
Ashley, you got anything?
Yeah, I like the routines. One thing that I've learned through my other real estate business is lead gen. I mean, at least take 2 hours a day to lead gen, because what you do today will affect your future, will show up in the future. I think setting routines, lead genning, and then just get started, dive into it. And then also following up, like Anthony said, I worked a deal for 8 months, and I was following up for 8 months, and we made 20,000 on it.
Yes.
So just follow up with people, and I love it. Words.
You guys have done an awesome job. I really appreciate you guys being on this webinar. Again, check them out on Instagram. Then we're going to go into a demo, but you guys are more than free. I know you have the rest of your evening to go through things, but thank you guys again for joining us, and I'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having us. It's been a pleasure, and I've kind of grown fond of the DealMachine family.
Well, we're pretty fond of you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I was gonna say, any questions that y'all have, hit us up on Instagram, because I know everyone's questions didn't get answered, but please, reach out to us.
Yeah, we're an open book.
Yep.
I love that. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, let me get my account pulled up here. I do want to say I saw my man TJ on here asked me what my whiteboard said, and it says, my dream life, career, and income are possible. I have a plan and it's in motion. I'm going to make it happen no matter what. And I wrote that at the beginning of this year. So I'm a big affirmations person. You can ask anyone on DealMachine. I'm
This is
the
true.
Bam, Tom. Thanks, TJ. All right, now my internet's going a little slow. I apologize, guys. Oh, that was such, I love them.
It was a really, really great information they're sharing there. And I love the point. I say it all the time, but it's the biggest hurdle is just getting started, right? So for the people that either just started an account or are still, trying to get information, I love it. You should absolutely get information. You should try and consume everything that's out there. But if you wait to the point where you think you've consumed all the information, I promise you there will be even more, and you won't ever get over that hurdle of getting started. So that's the hardest part. And I love that they touched on that.
Agreed. I remember when I've been doing driving for dollars for a while, and I had put off opening a PO box because I was afraid of sending out mail. And I knew if I set up that PO box, it meant I had to send out mail, which then also meant people would start calling me. And then I just was having that imposter syndrome. Don't do that. Just go get the PO box open, start sending the mail.
Yep.
And I would say that definitely, kind of like what Anthony was saying, they did mail in the beginning. If you don't have the time to cold call and really truly get the process like Ashley, who's definitely just doing cold calling, do something like mail marketing or something automated to where you don't forget to follow up, because that is where the deals slip through and someone else gets them, and we don't want that. Dakota, I have asked Dakota to help me with this demo. Definitely still ask your questions in the chat. But first off, we're going to kind of just go through DealMachine in itself. If you haven't started with DealMachine yet, or looking for apps that are helping you in your real estate investing software, we highly recommend checking out. We've been around for about a little longer than 3 years now. But check out the other apps on the store, look at their ratings. We do updates every 2 weeks for enhancements, bugs, all of that stuff. But we try to continue to build our app to make it better and to grow so that it makes your business grow even faster. So we're trying to give you all these tools. So first thing first, we have our driving for dollars. This is kind of our like our baby, because this is what we started with. This is what David started with. So you get to build it's our flagship. You get this unique list of properties. And like Anthony said, he closes the most out of this. And Randy mentioned that too, because no one else has these on their lists. And so they're not getting as many touch points. And so, you may be the first one who actually contacts them. And the big thing with driving for dollars, it's the lowest cost leads. You're not buying a list, you're creating one, but it has the greatest ROI, so it's something like, you won't get, I know that Anthony said he's not patient, so that's why they cold call. You do have to be patient with getting leads for driving for dollars, because you have to, the list can come like that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But driving for dollars does take some time, but you get your greatest ROI with that because it's such a niche list. So with that, you get the mobile maps, you get those real-time driving routes like Anthony was talking about, where you can see where you've driven and see how far you've driven, all that good stuff. You can recruit and manage drivers and also do smart property filters, which I will get into that right now to show you. So first things first, on this dashboard is where your analytics are going to be. There's also our webinars that are up here, and then also some goal setting. Definitely fill out this dashboard because it's going to show you, you know, if you want to close X number of deals, this is the work you're going to have to put in. And we also do it by your geographical location. And so that we know, so like I said earlier about Vegas having more properties needing to be added than Clarksville, Tennessee. So then we go into our mobile map. So this is what is going to be showing on your app. This is where you're going to start driving. There's literally going to be a start driving button. You press start. If you are on our pro or elite plan, you can do a planned route, which is you create a list basically, or you have a list that you want to go and see if there's more distressed signs of distress for that property. And it will take you to all of those properties. So in here, you can see I have these little greenhouses. This means these are properties I've already added. When it says smart filters, we have a highlight section, which, apparently I don't have access to. 1 minute. You're going to want to use the highlights to highlight certain properties. Dakota, do you have your account pulled up at all?
I can pull it up here.
All right, I'm going to stop this sharing real quick. Sorry, guys. I have the wrong demo account up. That's my bad. But as we get there, our highlights feature is awesome because you can actually say you want to look for, like Anthony and Ashley said, they want to look for all the absentee vacant homes. They can actually highlight that and they can see the areas where they're heavily, vacant, absentee owner. Let me get this. Oh, Dakota's showing you right there.
Yep. Yeah. So we got highlights. You got quick lists up here, right? Which are going to be more of the kind of broad generic type things that you might look for. And then you can get more specific as you create custom presets for yourself. You guys may identify certain filters or parameters that work better for you in certain areas, right? You'll want to create presets for that. And then all of the filters you have available down below in this custom filters section. So there are several different ones that you can choose from. They range from, just general type of owner information all the way to individual property information, right? Like beds and baths, square footage, year build. So you can filter by all of these different things, and we will highlight those on your map. So as you're driving, you can pay close attention to those. The one thing I like to remind everybody about though is, right, even if you are using highlights, which you absolutely should, don't only look at those ones, right? Constantly look around while you're out driving. Just because there's one that doesn't appear in the highlight doesn't mean that it's not a good property to add to your list and market to, right? So, but yeah, highlights are awesome.
All right, let's show them how to recruit those drivers. So in the driving tab, this is where you're going to see all of those routes. So you can see Dakota's actually on David's team. So you can see how many miles they've driven in the last 4 weeks. And this is where you can just check on those things. You can get a snapshot. The recruitment driver page is actually a landing page for our elite members that you can go ahead and have your own custom landing page. It's a training portal too, where you can actually, recruit drivers and show them videos that we already made, but you can put your own in there. So that way they know how to add a property, how to track their route, and you don't have to train them. I can grab your screen back, Dakota, so that I can, I can show that.
Oh, yep. There we go.
Okay. We're just bopping around, people.
Having fun.
What was it? Yesterday, I made a post with our bloopers and I was like, these are the people behind the screens because we're real and we mess up. Okay. So this is the landing page I was talking about. So you can recruit drivers. Mm-hmm. And then these are the training videos. You have an automated welcome email. So I've had people put this into a QR code for drivers to go ahead and look at and, sign up that way. And then you have a list of all your drivers there as well. All right, going into our list builder, which is what I talked about before. So you can get a lead list for flat free from county, lender, and sales data. It's faster leads, like I said, but it requires more marketing. You are going to have to truly follow up with these leads multiple times, minimum 3 touch points. So with this list builder, you get advanced filtering and searching. So we'll show you that. Smart list, which I'll show you that. But what that means is that when you turn on this thing we called smart list, every Monday we update our information. And that way, anything that does not fit in the parameters of what you picked will either be taken out, or if something new came into that, it'll be put into your list. So you don't have to continue to update that list. We will update it for you with the current data that we're getting. Drawn map list, I'll show you that, pre-foreclosures, and much more. So going into that, you're going to have this list tab. Now, whether you have list builder or not, you'll have the list tab because you can go ahead and organize your driving for dollars list as well. So I have a mixture of those. So some of these are actually ones that I've pulled for different people for my, I drive for a company here now. And so I put that into a list. But if I wanted to build a list, I just click build list, can go by zip code, city. I can draw an area. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Say and I like doing this because I couple this with my driving for dollars. I can go in here. I can say, okay, I'm right here. I'm over here. Okay. And I just want to see what vacant properties are in this area. And like I talked before, let's do is vacant. It shows me down here a little preview of how many there are. I can do absentee owner. Actually, I'd be interested to see owner occupied vacant. There's 64 owner occupied vacant homes. That's going to be a good one. And then I'm going to do sale date, sold over 3 years ago, 24 leads. So I'm going to go down here. I would definitely customize this to say this is going to be owner vacant. And then I'm going to say sold over 3 years. And then this is that smart list toggle that I would turn on. I'm going to submit it. And then it's going to start building that list and I can check the progress. On all of these lists, there's a breakdown that shows you, and this is great for your KPIs, checking to see which one is which list is performing the best with different things. So you can see here pending approval means that I have not started marketing to them, but I can see how many have completed marketing, how many offers were sent through this list, how many deals were won with this list. Did these filters work? Did they not? You can definitely break this down. And this does this again for your organic list as well. So if you have a driving for dollars list, this is a great way to also calculate how each of your lists are performing and compare them with that. Owner occupied vacant home. I saw Kaylee, so I'm going to answer that really quick. What it means is that they have it listed with county that is their primary residence, but USPS is going to be, trying to send mail to that. And after, what USPS does is if they see the mailbox is completely packed up and they see that it looks vacant, the USPS will flag it as a vacant property. And so even though it says it's their primary address, kind of like what Ashley said, they had one that said that was his primary residence. That's because he was living in a hotel, but it was vacant. So that's what it means. So that actually is pretty good motivation. If they're saying that's their primary residence, what's going on? That's a conversation to be had. Now, something you can do from this, if you do have it coupled with driving for dollars, you can actually drive this list. So I can make this a task for someone on my team to drive, or I can make it for myself. And that way they'll get a pop-up that says, hey, so-and-so wants you to drive this list. Here you go. And then they'll be able to go ahead and drive. So you see that it's 24 properties and they're estimating that it's going to take about 2 hours to drive because of the area that I selected to get just those 24. But what's great about this is that it'll take you around to those properties, but you'll be looking for other properties as well on the way. So this is just going to take you into really great neighborhoods, getting to know the area. I love it. All right. Now that we go in from List Builder, we have some add-ons that we have. I want to already go ahead and tell you our real estate data. So you can research individual properties. When you do have one of our plans, you get the basic general info of the property owner. So you get their address and you get anything that we get from county records, any mortgage balances, vacancy, pre-foreclosures, things like that. We do have skip tracing, so you can get cell phones, connected status, caller ID, emails and addresses. I'll actually go ahead and do one of those. I know AJ was answering questions like that before with things like about like call connected and do not call lists. I love it. So what we do is when you skip trace a property, it's going to run through, pull all of those, and then also scrub it down to see what's on the do not call list, which ones are connected, which ones are disconnected. Let me do this one. So right now I'm in my leads list. This is where all my leads lived, whether that's from List Builder or from Driving for Dollars. So if I go into here, I can press skip trace owner. Now skip tracing, we have it down to, and Dakota, correct me if I'm wrong, 14 cents a pop, 17.
14 cents pop.
14 cents a pop. And then double that for corporate skip tracing, which is awesome.
14 cents on successful skip traces.
Successful skip traces. Thank you, Dakota. So if we do not find any info for this property, you do not get charged.
Which is not common, but it's good to know.
It's good to know. Okay, so awesome. We got 2 addresses, and you're probably like, why would I want 2 addresses? Well, if this one somehow gets returned back to me, I have this one that I can go ahead and send another postcard to. I'm just saying, or I can send them to both, and maybe it's a relative. We have 5 I don't know if they're cell phones. So this one's a mobile. Caller ID is Indianapolis, connected. So this looks pretty good. Because if I look at their address, it shows that they're actually in Indianapolis. So then I pull this. Matthew, caller ID. So that checks out right there. So I'm saying that one's probably pretty good. This is a landline. This is a landline. This is a landline. So these are for sure connected. So these are the 3 I would call first. And then I can go down here and I can see all the other information that I talked about with like county activity and stuff like that. What also goes along with our real estate data is we do have a comps feature, which is an add-on that you can pull comps with different filters. So you can go through a certain mile radius around and was sold between this date and this date. And you can go ahead and check those out, compare them. My internet's running slow. Something going on today. There we go.
It's in the air.
It's in the air. All right, so I can select this. I can look at it a little bigger. I can see where this property's at, square feet. Okay. So I can take this to get my ARV. All right. Now, what is coming to this, and I'm going to take a screenshot of this. What is coming is we're going to actually have a calculator to where when you select them, it's going to tell you the calculated estimated, price of the property. You can see the estimated square footage, price per square foot, or average, not estimated, average. And you'll be able to see that as well. Now, we do have here also activity, so you can go ahead and take notes on these properties. You can select a task to give yourself. So say you're doing your cold calling, you can go ahead and set a task to make sure you follow up with this person so many days later. Or maybe you need to make sure that you send them a different contract or follow up to make sure they're doing all right. And that also goes with your statuses. So you can go ahead and say, this one's with marketing, marketing's complete, appointment set. This again helps you figure out your KPIs and make sure that you're on track with those. All right, make sure I don't forget anything. Direct mail marketing. Now, this lovely gentleman, well, both of them are lovely gentlemen, but Dakota is running our custom mailer training, which will go over how to make a custom postcard, but we have campaigns. So what that is that you are able to send sequential mail. Now, if you have our advanced campaigns, you can send different postcards. After so many days, you can customize the whole kit and caboodle. Now, on our simple campaigns, you can send one postcard and customize how many times it goes, like how many X number of days after you first send it, this many times, and then it stops. That way you don't have to forget. So you can do that as well. AJ just dropped in the chat, the custom mailer training. Definitely sign up for that. So you can go ahead and see all the campaigns you're running. You can click into one of these guys. You can see the performance of it. You can see when the next mailers are going to be out, what the estimated cost of that is, the steps in your campaign. So this one is just a one step. So it's just going to keep repeating that same postcard. And then you can also work your simple workflows through that to trigger certain things and customize your workflow for it. Now we have the designs over here. This is what Dakota goes over, making your own custom design postcard, but we do also give you some very basic ones as well if you don't want to go through creating the entire postcard from scratch. That they've actually worked really well. As you can tell, I really love our blocks template. That's like literally all that's in my design tab apparently. And then we have our mailer queue. So this is going to show you everything that's going to be mailed out right now. I have my mailer queue paused. I've paused my marketing. I think I was demoing this some other time. And then mailer issues. So if you have anything that's like maybe you're missing an address in your return address section in your signature, maybe that's holding mail back and it'll tell you. And so you have to go and fix it, so on and so forth. But this is going to be where you see all of those things. Last couple things in here that I feel like are really important. One, get free leads. People ask me all the time, do you have a promo code? This is your promo code to send out to people. You get money, they get money. It's win-win. $5 to you and to them. Selling is available to everyone. So when you put a product or a property under contract and you say it's closed, or maybe it's under contract or you want it, you can actually go over here, create a sales page to go live to send out to your buyers list. And you can put anything you want in here. So you can have it to where it has the pricing information in there. It's going to show you a preview right here of what the sales page is going to look like. And you can go ahead, take that URL. Also, I'm sorry, I really love this part, but you can show the property info here if you want to add that to any information inside on that pricing page. It'll show you a little preview of it right there. Okay. That is available for everyone. And then you can see your buyer's messages. So when they fill out that form, it's going to show it right here. You can go ahead and see any email address, phone number that they put in and contact them like that. Get that contract locked down. And then you get a call with me and then you tell me all about it. And then I ring the bell and I get you some DealMachine swag. All right. And then I think one of the last things, settings, obviously that's going to be for anything that's add-ons, plans. If you need to change your payment information, you want to go to dark mode, which I personally love. And then also if you want to change what opening screen comes on when you first open your app, this is where you would find it. Last couple of things, request a feature. Most, if not all of our features have come from you guys and what you've wanted to see in the app. So you can go through there and actually see which ones are being voted on. We take whoever has the highest vote to be our next priority as a feature for DealMachine. And then of course, our lovely help and support. We have support chat from 8 a.m. to midnight every day, Eastern Standard Time. We have instructional videos on YouTube. I'm biased because I love them all. They've been created either by me or someone of the team. Live trainings with our man Dakota here. And then we have our updates. So this is, again, we update every 2 weeks. This is where we are very transparent with you guys of what we've done to improve the app, to fix anything. Yeah, did I get it? Did I do it? Did I do good?
Yeah, support weekdays 8 a.m. to midnight Eastern. Weekends are 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you, Dakota. Sorry, AJ. All right. I am going to share one more screen with you guys. We really appreciate y'all being on here with us. Do follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. DM us on Instagram if you have any questions, anything that you guys need from us, let us know. And if you need help and support, you can chat us in the app like I showed you, or you can email us support@dealmachine.com. All right. This was great. Great
A lot
night.
of fun.
A lot of
Elise,
fun.
thank you for hosting.
Thank you. Thank you for co-hosting along with AJ. Appreciate you guys. We do have these every other week, so please be on the lookout. The next one is going to be in 2 weeks, and it's with Ryan and Mike. They are awesome. They also did a Takeover Tuesday, so you can go check that out on our Instagram as well, too. But thank you guys again. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to do a cool little outro here. Woo. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. And as always, happy deal finding.
Bye, everyone.